excellent book on investing, probably one of my 2 or 3 favorite books. It's a book called Winning the Loser's Game. Winning the Loser's Game by Charles Ellis. And he first wrote this book about 1976. It's come out in several revised editions, just one in the last year or two, I think, came out. And it's a marvelous book. It's a very, very interesting read. It's not full of a lot of charts and graphs and stuff like that. This is just a book with some wisdom in it, some real wisdom in it. And one of the things that one of the chapters he wrote about the mistake people make with their money as they get older. And again, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier on. Most people, when they get older, they make investment decisions based upon their own expected mortality. They're retired, they're living on a fixed income, they're hesitant to take risk, understandably. And so as a result, they have to struggle through watching their Social Security benefits go up 1% a year, maybe, see their returns on their deposits going up 1%, maybe, okay? And so what Ellis suggests in this book is that you make investment decisions based upon the life expectancy of the people you'd like to leave some of the money to. Okay? My 2 oldest grandchildren are 10, and a baby born today has a 50-50 chance of living to be 100. Okay? So little investments that we make for them now, or big investments that we make for them now, or for ourselves, will serve them very well down the road, because the power of compounding is a beautiful, powerful thing. And so we look at all these things, and we anticipate these kids living a very long and healthy life, and as a result, the money investments that we make now when they're so very young will really pay off handsomely. So that's one thing you can do. You don't have to put all your money on the red or black, but you should be looking to put some of that money to work now for your children or grandchildren. Don't worry about the phone, that's okay. I was introducing Irwin Jacobs at an event a few years ago, and the people that were running the meeting said, when you get up there, would you remind everybody to turn off their cell phones? And so I did. And so when Dr. Jacobs came up to talk, he said, you know, George, thanks a lot for doing that. But if you don't mind, I'd prefer that everybody in the audience turns on their cell phones, because every time a phone rings, I make money. So doesn't bother me a little bit. Doesn't, you know, let them ring away. I don't care. It's not going to interrupt my train of thought at all. So that's sort of how the way I approach the stuff as well. So again, the power of dividends is a truly wonderful thing. And explore it and have fun with it, okay? You know, sometimes we get really serious about investments. We get really, really serious about investments. And investing should be absolute fun, okay? You learn to invest the same way you learn to ride a bike. You just do it, okay? You know, you can go to a bookstore and there's all kinds of magazines and books and videos about how to ride a bike. But how do you learn to ride a bike? You put your cheeks in the seat and you start pedaling, okay? That's how you learn to ride a bike. And you're going to fall every once in a while and you're going to scrape a knee, but you got to get back up and get back on the bike. Investing's the same way. You can read all kinds of books out there about investing. You can go all kinds of seminars about, you know, a lot of free lunches and free dinners about investing, okay? But you don't really understand how investing works until you do it. And that's why I always like to direct people toward stocks that you can invest in for very small amounts of money. There's a group of companies out there, about 400 companies or so, that have what is called a direct purchase plan, where you can buy shares of the stock directly through the company without having to go through a middleman. And one of the nice things about it is you can get started with as little as, you know, $50, $100, something like that. It's a good way to get that toe in the water and see how it goes. So, what do you have? Why are we looking at Hershey?
I had a sweet tooth.
Oh, okay. Do they have a direct purchase plan? I bet they do. Yeah. Okay, so you can go to any company's website and go to the any publicly traded company, go to the investor relations area, and they'll tell you about how to buy the stock. And many of them today have, look at that. You can sign up for their direct purchase program for very small amounts of money. And you can set it up for an automatic investment program where they will automatically debit your account whatever amount you tell them to every month, so that it's done without any emotion. You remove emotion from the equation and get it going, and then you authorize them to reinvest the dividends. This is the way I've invested for a long, long time. This is the way I go about investing in stocks, is by simply setting it up on automatic pilot. again, a great way to do that for your kids, for your grandkids and stuff like that. It's a real simple process. DripInvestor.com is a newsletter that is very good. The guy in the middle, Chuck Carlson, is a good friend of mine, but I wouldn't suggest you subscribe to the newsletter. And don't ever tell him I said that if you ever see him. But it's a good newsletter, and right where it says get your free sample of Drip Investor, do that, okay? And you may want to go ahead and invest in it. It's not a bad newsletter by any stretch of the imagination, but when you do that, they'll also send you the list of about 400 companies that have direct purchase programs. So it's dripinvestor.com is the website, and just in case you hadn't figured it out, DRIP is Dividend Reinvestment Program. So and he's a big proponent of the power of reinvesting those dividends. So that list will give you something to work with, so you'll have a sense of stuff like that.